This is TomoNews for Tuesday, November 22nd. Trump fans protest Starbucks by buying more Starbucks. Supporters of Donald Trump are making a statement against Starbucks after a viral video showed a white Trump voter crying discrimination at one of the coffee giant stores. You know, after waiting far too long for his coffee. So, in a show of unity, fans of the Donald are taking aim at Starbucks by getting baristas to write Trump on their cups, forcing them to yell out the name when the drinks are ready. And though quite a number of participants have gotten exactly what they wanted, others were trolled just as hard, if not harder. The president-elect's minions are extremely happy with their genius Trump cup operation. Never mind that Starbucks is cashing in on this lucrative moment and is clearly the real winner here. If anyone's annoyed, it's the baristas. And you really ought to be nicer to your barista if you want to remain caffeinated. Apparently, employees are also not required to write names on cups or call out names. Really should have thought this one through, Trump fans.
Two moose found frozen in ice after battle to the death. Two men in Inuit, Alaska were going for a walk near the Bering Sea earlier this week when they stumbled upon the most epic of sights. Two moose, antlers locked, bodies frozen in ice. How did they end up like this? Well, upon closer inspection of their carcasses, one of the men has a hunch. Bull moose are known for their head-to-head bouts, squaring off for the right to mate with a particular female. When they clash, it can get downright nasty, their pointed antlers cracking against each other until one either gives up or dies fighting. For these two titans, the match likely ended with one of them piercing the other's skull. Though he may have won the battle, the war itself was lost, as their antlers were so entangled, leaving the victor unable to dislodge and break free. The dead weight of his opponent, likely weighing in at 1,000+ pounds, may have dragged him down into the sea, a watery, icy grave for two. When the men discovered their remains, they later returned with the tools to cut them out, their heads to be sawed off, stuffed, and mounted on a wall. A pretty steep price to pay for getting some play.
Cops shame suspect on social media. A Florida sheriff's office is facing a backlash after it posted a photo to Facebook and Twitter of two deputies gripping a crying suspect by his hair. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office labeled 21-year-old Marcus Porter their sad criminal of the day following his arrest last week. According to the cops, Porter was arrested on November 17th after he fled a traffic stop and then intentionally ran a deputy off the road. Porter was allegedly found with multiple drugs in his possession, including 9.5 grams of crystal meth. But it's what happened next that has really stirred controversy. Two deputies grabbed a handcuffed and crying Porter by his dreadlocks and paraded him in front of a camera. The cops posted the photo to their social media accounts, but later deleted it from Facebook after receiving a barrage of criticism. In response, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office posted this grainy video to Twitter. They say it shows compassionate deputies giving Porter a blanket and water following his arrest. The Sheriff's Office defended the original photo, saying it posted pictures of criminals online every day as a service to the community. So what do you think? Were the cops right to notify the public about the arrest of a potentially dangerous criminal? Or is there something disturbing about seeing a man at his lowest ebb being dragged by the hair to pose for an unwanted photo? Maybe it should be noted here that suspects are supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, unless we want to hand over all authority to the cops to act as judge, jury, and executioner.
Hiker has car broken into and receives anti-Muslim note for wearing bandana. A woman going for a hike in California was the victim of another Trump-inspired hate crime after she was seen putting on a bandana to cover her head from the sun. On November 16th, 41-year-old Nikki Pancoli was on a peace hike to the top of Mission Peak in Fremont, something she committed to doing for 65 days following the results of the US election. Nikki happens to be suffering from lupus, and so to protect herself from the sun, she wrapped a bandana around her head. Someone spotted her doing it, and must have also seen her exit her vehicle. Someone not very nice, apparently. While she was gone, Nikki's car was broken into, her rear windows were smashed, and her purse stolen. When Nikki returned to her car, she found her damaged vehicle with a hateful note left on the dashboard that read, "Hijab wearing bitch," This is our nation now. Get the out. Nikki is not a Muslim, but in the eyes of the nasty, she is as much an other as anyone. The vandalizing thief is being sought after by police as reports of hate crimes in the US keep flooding in.
Kanye West has yet another public meltdown. Kanye fans are livid after he showed up to a concert late and then called it off after performing just 2 songs. The artist arrived more than an hour late for his concert on Saturday in Sacramento. When he finally got on stage, he performed the songs Famous and Father, Stretch My Hands from his latest album Life of Pablo, singing one of those songs twice. He then launched into a 15-minute-long rant during the middle of which he introduced Kid Cudi to the crowd. The pair even shared a moment together on stage. Continuing his rant, Kanye claimed Beyoncé conspired with MTV to win the Video of the Year award, while also saying Beyoncé and Taylor Swift are 2 great people. Is somebody off their meds again? And of course, that wasn't all. He also complained that Jay-Z hasn't called him, and that he expects Jay-Z to talk to him like a man. As a grand finale to his latest public meltdown, Kanye begged Jay-Z not to kill him, then dropped the mic. After the abbreviated concert, it was announced that the rest of Kanye's St. Pablo tour had been called off. Sacramento concert-goers were offered refunds by Ticketmaster. What do you think? Should Kanye apologize for his bizarre behavior again? Or do you love him even more for it? University of Glasgow offers Homer Simpson philosophy course. Eat, sleep, alcohol, repeat. That's pretty much the life of your average Glasgow citizen. So it makes sense that the University of Glasgow will next year offer a philosophy course based on Homer Simpson. At a cost of around $37, the one-day course aims to explore moments from the iconic cartoon through the lens of philosophy. And we're sure that's something the locals can get on board with. Glasgow, once ranked Europe's most violent city, may learn some age-old Simpsons wisdom, such as,
I don't have to be careful, I got a gun.
The course will reportedly examine if Aristotle would consider Homer to be a virtuous figure. But given the city's love of all things alcohol and deep fried, we wouldn't be surprised if Glaswegians hail Homer as the second coming of Christ. Now, naysayers will moan that classes like this are a waste of time and money. To them we say nothing can't be done, so why don't you take time to John Stuart Mill that over? Woohoo!
Tennessee school bus crash kills 5. A Tennessee community is reeling from an accident that claimed the lives of multiple children just days before Thanksgiving. On Monday afternoon, 37 children were on board a school bus as it traveled along Talley Road in Chattanooga. The students from Woodmore Elementary School ranged in age from kindergarten to 5th grade. The bus is believed to have hit a utility pole before flipping on its side and crashing into a tree. Children were seen escaping the wreck to safety by climbing out of the vehicle's roof hatch, though many more were trapped inside. Rescuers spent at least 2 hours extracting everyone from the bus. 5 students died at the scene and more than 24 others were injured. Police arrested the 24-year-old bus driver and are charging him with 5 counts of vehicular homicide, reckless endangerment, and reckless driving. The crash comes just days after another school bus flipped over on Interstate 65 in Nashville and injured nearly 24 students.
Uber reckons you'll be able to hail a flying cab by 2026. Ride-hailing company Uber released a very intriguing white paper last month. The nearly 100-page document envisions a future where commuters jetting city to city in compact aircraft could be as normal as taking the train to work. Uber's prediction of a world with commonplace urban air transit systems relies heavily on the widespread use of small self-flying electric aircraft with vertical takeoff and landing capability. Also known as VTOL, it's most commonly used by helicopters, as well as a small number of military aircraft. Uber says a network of VTOL hubs or landing pads, dubbed vertiports and verti-stops, could be used as terminals to ferry passengers around. Unlike cars, buses, and trains, VTOLs aren't susceptible to traffic jams or delays. They can fly from A to B with no fixed route. Uber estimates the cost of a 15-minute flight may eventually reach as low as $21. Uber expects the aircraft could fly at cruise speeds of around 150 miles per hour and won't go above 10,000 feet. The VTOL would be powered by rechargeable batteries that would maintain 30 minutes of reserve energy. Uber won't manufacture the aircraft, but predicts the market will have produced them by the early 2020s. Uber needs to collaborate with governments and the private sector for this to become a reality, so that could take longer than a decade, especially on the regulatory side.
Pneumatic vacuum tubes suck trash away. Swedish company Envac has designed an underground pipeline system that can collect trash by vacuum. The waste inlets can be located outdoors or indoors. Waste thrown into the inlet slides down a pipe to enter a waste tank underground. The waste tank is emptied by a vacuum truck when it reaches its capacity. The truck empties the tank via a docking point, which is often located outside residential areas. The vacuum system on board the truck sucks the waste out of the tanks and into the vehicle, where it is compressed. A network of underground pipes can be used to collect the waste of an entire city. The waste collection system can be upgraded to include a pay-as-you-throw function that charges users on what they throw into the inlets. The vacuum waste collection system was developed in the late 1980s. It has since been installed in countries such as Sweden, Denmark, and Norway.